Hello and welcome to the Tuesday, June 29th edition of the Capital OTB Daily Report, sponsored by CapitalOTBBet.com. This is Mike Callahan from the Capital OTB Marketing Department. I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday morning. And first part of the show, we'll talk a little bit about a stakes recap. This past weekend, the highlight was down at Churchill Downs with the Stephen F. Foster. Also had multiple stakes races as well. There were 7 stakes races on that Saturday card. We'll mention a few of them and go over the winners there. A little bit later on, we'll talk about the Tuesday agenda here at Capital OTB and give you the rundown there. And then we'll also talk about promos at the end. This week's promos, and then obviously right around the corner from Saratoga, that being a couple weeks away, sort of intro you with a couple of promos. We have a ton of promos going on during Saratoga, but we'll intro you with a couple of them to look forward to as well. But as I mentioned before, the first part of the show will be a little bit of stakes recap. And mention the Stephen Foster. You had a heavy favorite going into the race with Maxfield, 6-for-7 lifetime. We talked about on the stakes preview that I do with Seth each week. He's going to be very tough to beat. Ended up going off at 40 cents to the dollar. And sat towards the back of the pack as the gates opened up. There was a little bit of a speed duel between Empty Tomb and Sprawl. And when those two sort of went at it around the far turn, Jose Ortiz asked Maxfield, and he was able to sort of circle the field and get the lead quite easily. Opened up by a couple of lengths, and the winning margin ended up being 3 1/4. He's just a nice horse right now, doing everything right. Towards the earlier part of his career, he did miss a couple races, but ever since they've been able to get him right, Brendan Walsh really has a nice one here, and he was able to get the job done in the Stephen Foster. Warriors Charge finished second. Sprawl ended up finishing third, and Maxfield is pointed towards the Whitney, so we may be able to see him in our backyard here a little bit later on in the summer. But very nice performance in the Stephen Foster for Maxfield. A little bit earlier on, we saw the Fleur de Lis, which ended up having another heavy favorite in there at Latruska, who a lot of people remember was able to battle back and beat Monomoy Girl a couple races ago. Had come in with quite a nice win streak going on. Last seen down at Belmont, where she was able to beat She Dares the Devil quite easily, who had come in with her own winning streak as well. So Latruska did what she always does, got to the lead early. She set some moderate fractions. The connections for Latruska had to feel good when the fractions came up 48 to the half, and she was able to open up at will, won that race quite easily against Antoinette. Envoûtant ended up finishing third. Also in the field was Point of Honor and Spice is Nice. And again, she's one that's got to be considered one of the leaders in that distaff division, as she's just been rolling win after win. And she's very dangerous on the lead, and we'll see ultimately where she ends up going later on in the summer. And then one other race to note, we'll talk a little bit about the Wise Dan that raced right before the Stephen Foster. One to take a look at on the turf and is Set Piece. He's a horse that I mentioned again on that stakes preview that we do each week, but he was going up against Ride a Comet, Field Pass, Some Like a Hot Brown, who had just won down at Pimlico in a nice performance there. But Set Piece set pretty much dead last in that race. Some Like a Hot set moderate fractions, but he, being Set Piece, has a wicked turn of foot, able to put it together and collar their leader quite easily, and one gear down. He's 3 in a row for Set Piece, and he's one to take a look at going forward. Just wanted to mention his name because he's been razor sharp of recent, and again, that quick turn of foot, go back, watch the replay. He's one to definitely look forward to towards the second half of this season. So yeah, that's a little bit of a stakes recap there with the big weekend down at Churchill, and closing day ended up being then as well. So we'll transition now and talk about the Tuesday lineup here at Capital OTB. On this Tuesday lineup, we'll have South African races starting at 6:40. We'll have UK racing from 8 to noon. And then we'll have Saratoga Harness kicking off at noon. They have $3,800 and their jackpot pick 6. Monticello will start at 12:10. Pocono will start at 12:30. We'll have Belterra at 12:35. Thistle Downs at 12:50. Parks at 12:55. Finger Lakes at 1:10. Fairmont will start at 2 o'clock. Indiana Grand at 2:25. Louisiana Downs at 3:45. Then we'll have Delta Downs at 4 o'clock as they have quarter horse racing going on. Fort Erie will also start at 4. We'll have Harrington Raceway at 4:30. We'll have Penn National at 6, and we'll get a couple of races before the 7:30 cutoff. And they do have 12,724 in their pick 5, so definitely want to get involved with that. Canterbury, we're going to have a couple of their races as well. They start at 6:10. We'll get up till 7:30. As far as races goes, they have $8,100 in their pick 6. So if you're looking for some carryovers, always want to mention those. And then we'll have a little bit later on at night, we'll have Mountaineer for a race. They start at 7. And then we'll have Woodbine Mohawk Harness Racing. Glad to have them back in the mix. They'll start their racing action at 7 as well. We'll have Yonkers at 7:15, and then we'll have Australian Racing and Japan Racing after midnight. So that's the rundown of the Tuesday action. Then also want to hit you with promos here at Capital OTB this week. On Friday, we're going to have a $250 OTB Live bankroll at Chris's Mid-City Tavern Easy Bet, which is located in Manan. Stop by. Seth's going to wager from 2 to 6, but we'll have entries going from about 12 to 3 o'clock. We'll choose 10 people to be part of that bankroll, and then whatever money Seth's able to make will be dispersed among the team. It's a great spot. If you haven't stopped down at Chris's and Manans, wonderful spot. They have great food and beverage, a ton of room, and great atmosphere, tons of TVs to watch the races. So stop down to the Chris's Mid-City Tavern for the $250 OTB Live bankroll on Friday. This Saturday, we're going to have a $750 syndicate special. Again, that'll be on Belmont. Those are always fun. There are actually still some entries available, so if you want to sign up, go to capitalotb.com. Again, you put in $25, 20 people part of the team, that's $500. OTB adds $250, and then we formulate that $750 ticket by sending out an entry form to the patrons, and then you send it back, and then we sort of configure the ticket from there. So definitely get involved with the syndicates. We'll also be doing those during Saratoga and increasing it to $1,500. So that'll be nice. Also on Saturday, we're going to have a $100 play the board contest here at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Ave in Albany. Stop down. I'll be there. Stop down and say hi and play in the play the board contest. It's always fun because there's 5 different bet types for 5 different races, and you can play against your friends. And again, there's a cash win of $75 a bet, and then the runner-up gets a $25 bet. So stop down to the clubhouse for the $100 play the board contest. We'll also have a Gulfstream Park track bonus on Saturday. And then on Sunday, which is the 4th of July, we'll have an online contest. We'll have an online knockout challenge. And then that'll be 6 races at Belmont as well. So a lot to look forward to this weekend, and obviously 4th of July weekend coming up as well. I do want to alert you to some promos. Again, we talked about a host of promos that we're going to have during Saratoga. The big one as far as new accounts goes, especially if you don't have an account with Capital OTB, is we're going to have a new account sign-up bonus of $300. So deposit $300, wager $600, and you'll get $300 back from the 12th through the 18th of July. So look for more information on that as we get closer to the towards Saratoga starting up. But again, we're increasing that sign-up bonus from the 12th to the 18th, so it'll really be a $300 sign-up bonus, so take advantage of that. And then tons of promos. We're going to have $200 pick 4 bankrolls online on Thursdays. We'll have Prize Wheel Day at the Clubhouse on Thursday. On Fridays, we're going to have the Bounty Bet and a Trifecta Challenge. On Saturdays, we're going to have the Play the Board contest at the Clubhouse. And as I mentioned before, $1,500 syndicate specials. And that $1,500 bet is going to be on the late pick 5 at Saratoga. And we know how big some of those late pick 5s can pay. So definitely going to have a lot of money involved. That'll be $50 buy-in from patrons, and for the first 20 that sign up. And then Capital OTB is going to add $500. So again, big ticket. Definitely want to get involved with that. And then on Sundays, we're going to have the show pool promo that we're going to do, which is new. We'll talk about that as we get closer to Saratoga. But that's going to be a lot of fun where you sort of roll over a big show bet, sort of like a parlay. And just keep going with that. So look for more information on Sundays with that. And then also the Naira Pick 4 match bet, which we've run on Sundays before. And then also new to Wednesdays, which is going to kick off on the 21st, we're going to have a $500 OTB Live bankroll with Seth, who will do that 4 times during Saratoga. And that'll be up live from the backstretch of Saratoga. But you can get involved at capitalotb.com for entries there. We'll also have a knockout challenge at the Clubhouse. And then we'll also alternate weeks where we have that OTB Live bankroll And we're going to have a players bankroll at the clubhouse. So every other week we'll have a bankroll up at the live from the backstretch, and then we'll have a players bankroll at the clubhouse racebook. So we'll do that on Wednesdays. So there's a lot to look forward to as far as promos go. Really looking forward to it, and I definitely want to get involved if you're a patron here at Capital OTB. But Seth will be in tomorrow to do the daily report. So until we see you again, take care.